hopefully over the next couple of days, you'll get a real sense for why this title, what the power of nature, technology, and community are, and how much we need all three as we work to accelerate a real transformation that we talked a bit about last night, and how we all need to come together as community, because after all, some of this work can get a little dark, and a couple of our speakers this morning will kind of set up the challenges that we face. But then also, it's so inspiring what the technology, the innovators, all the new business models that are happening. And so we'll have a lot of those speakers as well to really show us how we can be part of this transformation. I wanted to start with a couple slides just to set you in context, because a lot of you flew in to Sun Valley. So Idaho is not in the Midwest. Idaho is in the Northwest. A lot of people get that wrong. We hear a lot about corn in Iowa. We're potatoes in Idaho, but we're also the land of many waters. That's what Idaho means in Native American language, is the land of many waters. We are the gem state. That's our official nickname, not the potato state, because nearly every type of gemstone has been found in this beautiful state of Idaho. Our Capitol building is the only one in the United States heated by geothermal power. We have the deepest river gorge in North America, deeper than the Grand Canyon. That's Hell's Canyon. Idaho is famous for growing potatoes, so we acknowledge and love that. We produce about 1/3 of the potatoes grown in the United States. And a couple of great women facts. Our beautiful state seal is the only one in the United States designed by a woman. In 1890, Emma Edwards Green submitted the design, and she was awarded $100 by the governor at the time for her state seal. And then Sacagawea, who of course famously led Lewis and Clark out to the Pacific. She was born near Salmon, which is just about an hour and a half north of us, Salmon, Idaho. Our state insect, one of our favorites, is the monarch butterfly. But just in case you think we're too cool, our state dance is the square dance. So we're not that cool in Idaho. So this is beautiful Idaho, and as I said, a lot of people think of us about potatoes. That bottom third of the state is that beautiful Snake River Plain with a lot of fertile agricultural land, but we also have the largest roadless area in the lower 48. But we're also in a lot of trouble. We're a fragile beauty. We got a D+ on the states at risk. It's by Climate Central, which is out of Princeton. It rated our state for being a D+ on our preparedness for climate change, both because of the threats we're facing, the level of the threats, the heat and the drought, and also the lack of preparation. And so that's why a lot of us are here today. These are the fires. This is the Beaver Creek fire, which hit us in 2013 and really woke up our local community, I think, to this concept of resilience. How do we get through these challenges that we're facing? It cost our economy $40 million right off the top of that tourism economy in August of 2013. And then more recently, we had horrible floods this spring. I have friends whose power is out, and who are still using boots here 3 months later to get to their front doors because of the flooding. And of course, those are related. Record-breaking snowfall in a place that's lost a lot of trees over the last 10 years. The trees can't absorb the water, so we're facing local impacts. So a number of us founded the Sun Valley Institute a couple of years ago to really look at the strategy behind what we needed in our community to build resilience. And it's the concept of a backbone organization, which my friend Ali Long from the Local Food Alliance, who's our food program, talks a lot about with the Local Food Alliance. How do we help to mobilize funding, to bring in resources, bring in incredible ideas and experts to work with us locally to advance policy, to share our metrics? How do we measure resilience in our community? What does that mean for us, for our values, and for our priorities? And build public will, engage our public. So we have a lot of risks in our community as well that are acute risks. Fire and flooding are acute risks. We have long-term risks in the area of food, in the area of power, and in the area of water. In power, we send $80 million a year out of our community to pay for our power. That money could be spent locally to create jobs. We're the 5th most expensive county in the nation for food, and yet we have this incredible fertile property just south in the south part of our valley where we could be growing local food. Instead, we're growing alfalfa and barley and cattle for export. So how do we turn those chronic risks into opportunities and create real quality year-round jobs? And that's what the Institute's working to do with our collaboration of our city and county leaders, with our local nonprofits here. And so we have our Local Food Alliance, which is our food program to work on localizing that food system. We have our energy programs, Solarized Blaine. Last year, We got our amazing community. Our home and business owners adopted 5 times the amount of solar last year as the year before. We have Rev Up Blaine, our EV adoption campaign to get us off of that gasoline being imported into our valley, and we believe that our final numbers are record-breaking per capita numbers of EV adoption by a community, and that just wrapped up. And we have a partnership with Idaho's National Laboratory, so it's the DOE lab based here in Idaho Falls. We're so fortunate to have them. With them and our local utility, we're doing an infrastructure blueprint of our energy system. How much are we consuming? From where? What does the infrastructure look like? How resilient is it to outages? We've had some significant outages here. So that really got our community working on, okay, let's take on our urgent risks and our chronic risks, and let's create local jobs by addressing them. And more recently, the fire work that we've been doing with the University of Idaho. We're very fortunate that the University of Idaho has one of the best fire resilience groups, teams in the nation and really the world. And so they've been working with our local community to bring in technology and their modeling ability to help us prioritize how do we mitigate future fires and how do we restore after existing fires that we've had? Where do we prioritize? Which hillsides do we need to restore first? And how do we prioritize very scarce resources? So we're very fortunate for that. So just a little bit to give you context of who's hosting your conversation here today. These are just some pictures of some of our local folks who've adopted the Nissan Leaf and our first person to go solar under our Solarize program. And then the forum. So why this event? Really to connect us to be a little bit greedy and bring your incredible expertise and collaboration, and hoping that all of you will fall in love with this beautiful place and want to collaborate with us on the ground to showcase your technologies like we have with Enerblue and Iteros with the microgrid right across the street at Forest Service Park, showing us what we can do here locally, but also to connect, hopefully, all of us to each other to accelerate what we're all doing in our work and make it better. And as you may have noticed, we're not just investors, we're not business people, we're not just residents, we're not just advocates. It's really the whole ecosystem of change makers that we have here today. And then I just wanted to ask my board of directors from the Sun Valley Institute if you could each stand, because you've all been incredible volunteer board. So please, I see you, Mike Higgs, and I see you, Ann Christensen, and I see you, Alan Richardson. Okay, thank you. And then we have an incredible advisory board, some of whom are speaking here today. So yes, I'm making you stand. So the advisory board, Peter. Yes, come on, you guys. Okay, thank you. And then I just wanted to say a quick word about our sponsors, and then I'm going to introduce our mayor to welcome us. So our sponsors are not just people who helped us make this happen with their financial resources, but they've been invited to be sponsors because they are leading in building resilience. These are companies and investors and collaborators with whom we're working and who are part of this community in building a more resilient prosperity. So Cypress Creek Renewables is our lead sponsor. Ion Sun Valley, of course, did our red carpet interviews last night and is here with us throughout. They're an online resource here with kiosks all over the valley. Bank of the West, BNP Paribas, Julie Schaefer. I'm going to make you stand. Okay, because I want people to find you. You guys are amazing collaborators. Thank you. Sonnen Capital, Raul Pomares. Raul, he's not here yet. Hopefully he's writing that report that he's going to hand out to everybody. And then the team from Enerblue and Enerblue Grid Services. If you guys could, that'd be great. Okay, thank you. And then, doing the microgrid. And then Nia, Kristen Hull, 8 Minute Energy, Microsoft, Rob Bernard, Idaho National Lab, Amy Lentz, if you guys could all, I'm making you stand up here. Thank you. And then all the rest. So Accord Capital Management, Mark George, who's speaking on Friday, Alt Energy, Billy Mann, who's done amazing work in our Solarize campaign, Aquabella, Mike Leach, Midas Gold, Laurel Sayer, MetLife, Howard Pyle, and Bex Wilkinson. If you guys are here, please stand. All right, come on. Thank you. Okay. I know I didn't tell anyone I'd make them do this. And then finally, Limelight, Safer Made, Viken, Futera, Confluence Philanthropy, and RBC, and Eric Bowe. If you guys are here, please stand. That's our final one. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Freya. All right, that's it. So, I'm going to introduce our mayor. I talked about last night when I looked around, it wasn't just incredibly brilliant innovative leaders, but really friends, people who are incredible people we're on this journey with. It's all about how much, as Jake Moe said, if you're not having fun, you're fired. So it's all about let's remember in the hard times as the challenges come that we want to be as partners and collaborators and have fun together. And one of the people I have fun together in this crazy battle here locally and the charge that we have to help transform this community is Nina Jonas, who's the mayor of Ketchum. She's also a Smith College graduate, which we're very proud of, the first female mayor of Ketchum. And I would note that the first Sun Valley female mayor was also a Smithy. So there you go. Come on, Nina, come on up. Thank you.